Rav. Welcome to Everyday Investor, the hottest investment show in the world. That's right, I said it. I don't care who knows it. Remember, whenever you're offered any type of investment opportunity, you always want to ask 4 questions to start. Number 1, what is the ROI? What's the return on the investment? Number 2, when do I get that return along with the money I put in? If somebody tells you it's 25%, but it's over 10 years, then really I'm making 2.5% annualized. So it's very important that you ask, what's the exit? When do I get this? 3, what is the minimum amount needed? And 4, you look them right in their beautiful eyes and you ask them, what is the risk, the worst case scenario? If they can't tell you that, turn around and run really fast. This show is designed to help you grow your money, the money that God's given you. We all take our precious time. We go to work, we make money in order that we can eat, that we can provide. We take our time, the 168 hours in a week, we take a lot of that, we go to work, we make money in order to provide. But imagine a world where money could make you money so that you could work a little less if you wanted to and had more time for family, friends, a purpose greater than yourself. Super excited about this show. We're talking to Andrea Williams. We're gonna learn how we can grow our money investing in pre-construction condominiums. You don't want to go anywhere. Everyday Investor continues in a moment. Hey, it's Rob. Welcome back to Everyday Investor. I'm talking to Andrea, and she is going to teach us how we can make money investing in pre-construction condominiums. Andrea, thank you so much for joining me today.
Oh, thank you for having me, Rob. I'm excited.
Yes, me too. I mean, you have an interesting story, a little bit of a sad one, almost even tragic, if I have to be honest. I heard that you left the promised land of Brampton, Ontario, to go into the metropolis. I can't wait to hear that. Don't worry, I'll send out a rescue team and bring you back. But actually, you left at a good time because we're leading the way in COVID cases in all of Ontario, so perhaps you want to come back in a few more months. But yeah, tell me a little bit about that. Tell me your story, if you can, in, this is a 24-minute show, and so I want to hear lots and lots and lots, but dedicate a few minutes to how you got into real estate, why you left Brampton. I think you and your beautiful family are living in a condo downtown, but tell us that story.
Yeah, so I got into real estate many years ago. I would say about 15 years ago, we started investing in real estate for building wealth. My family and we were just looking for ways to earn money on our money outside of jobs. I didn't think we were going to build wealth that way. So my husband and I said, real estate will be that way. But I'm so sorry, Rav, that we left Brampton because it's a beautiful city. I love it and I miss it. But my husband has family here in Toronto, loves Toronto and wanted to be back in Toronto. It's closer to work for him. So really the COVID kind of made us change our minds about looking at living in Toronto, not because of COVID in Brampton or COVID in Toronto, but mostly because when we first bought this condo, we actually bought it with the intention of renting it out. And we decided during COVID that it made more sense for us to consider moving in ourselves. One, because our home in Brampton had been paid down quite a bit, so the mortgage is small. Getting a lot more rent from that made more sense. We could get a greater monthly amount to cover the cost, and living in Toronto gave my husband and my family an opportunity to live in the city that he and all of them desired. They actually do love the condo life and living downtown, which I'm a suburbs, rural type of girl, so I really miss that. But I do love the experience that we're getting right now.
No, I mean, listen, I love what you just said there. I mean, I've learned, because we've never really, it's not like we know each other intimately. And I already know that you are not in love with bricks and mortar. Numbers have to make sense. You care for your family. And you still, I mean, that's the most important thing. You're still with your nucleus. And so what a sacrificial woman. Your husband's lucky that you said, okay, honey, you can walk to work and I'll live in the concrete jungle and miss the wonderful parks and lakes in all that Brampton has to offer. But the thing is it's not forever. You can do whatever you want. I mean, that's the beauty as investors for forever. I mean, I bought the house that I'm in right now just for therapeutic purposes, not for economical. If it was for me, paper and pen, I would always rent. I would always rent and own real estate elsewhere. But I love that you guys pivoted that say, you know what, we might not get what we want for this condo, but we will for this big old house in Brampton. And it's probably a duplex or a tri or whatever it is.
Yeah, exactly. It's got 2 units in it. And so the income is amazing for the fact that the mortgage is so small. We've owned it for 17 plus years. And, we're not trying to pay off the mortgage. That's not our strategy, but it's just fortunately over years, we have moved there, lived there. We've had tenants in there. And so the tenants have paid it down quite a bit. And we've got a 3 unit there now, a 3rd unit getting established.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. And so tell me about, I'm most important thing in my life is my faith. And after that, obviously, my family. So talk to me about your children and how old they are and what did they think of this? And are they all with you? How many square feet is that condo? And are they all with you?
Good questions, Rob, really. Part of the reason why it made sense to leave the 3,000 square feet home to the 700 square feet condo was my eldest, who's now 27. She decided to move out during COVID. She was like, I want my own place. I want my own space. And being that we have properties, I said, well, at least rent from us. So she's now living in one of our properties in Brampton, renting a unit there. So not all of us left Brampton at the same time. And because she was moving out and we would be left with 2 children and my husband and I, it made sense. It's a condo 2 plus den. So we actually, the second bedroom is adequate for my second daughter, who's 17 now. She's in her final year of high school. And my 8-year-old, we have only girls, all 3 girls. My 8-year-old took over the den. So it fit perfectly for us, to be honest, despite the fact that the size is extremely different compared to our 3,000 square foot home. We left a lot of the furniture behind and we started afresh, right? We bought new and built that way. So with my eldest leaving, it just made sense to try something different. And I think that we have not regretted it.
No, it's fantastic. I mean, now you remind me of a couple things. Carlos Slim, he's, one of the richest men in the world. There was always Gates, Buffett, and Slim until our friend Amazon jumped in there. But he lived in, and Larry King asked him, why do you live in a 1,500 square foot house, 3 bedrooms, 6 kids? So him and his wife in one, 3 boys in the other, and 3 girls in the other. And he said, because I don't feel like people understand what wealth is. Wealth is family. Wealth is relationships. I don't want my children to get lost in a big house. And so this is an opportunity for you to really enjoy those 2 young ones. You know how quick 27 comes around, and I'm sure you miss your eldest. But I love it. I mean, I always tell my wife, I think a 2-bedroom is great, and I would put, regardless of gender, I'd put 2 in the same room, and they can go change in the bathroom. And if you're thinking about a vacation property, maybe you want to buy a property in Naples, Florida, or whatever. I'm not going to go buy a 2,000 square foot 4-bedroom condo. I'll probably buy a 2-bedroom condo, and wherever you fit, you fit. Indian styles. But I think it was our producer there, Nikki, that one of your children's in the film and TV world?
Yes. My youngest, she has been in a Netflix series. And so we are closer to a lot of the television industry.
Yes.
And my second is also an aspiring. So she's working on doing her modeling. And so we're totally in walking distance in the vicinity of all of those industries.
Yeah. I mean, these days I know there's a lot of, so I've been in that industry, I'm 49 and when I was 18, so over 30 years. And now living out here, it's hard to get to auditions downtown and callbacks and, all that kind of stuff. During COVID, it's been great because it's all self-tape. But when this is finished, I'm sure it's going to be very accessible to do that. And then you can go see the Jays and the Raptors and all that kind of stuff. Which agent, who's their agent?
So Glickman Alexander,
Yeah.
our agent, and we actually, all of us do it as a family, to be honest. So, because we've done shows, television series she's done on her own, but we've all done like different types of acting, and like we've done a lot of commercials together.
I was with Characters because of Vancouver, Toronto, and then I'm with Jerry Jordan and Associates. Great guy, yeah. And like I say, I mean, busy with 2 teenagers and friends and church and this show, so I don't get downtown a lot to audition, but I do love the self-taping, so that's very...
We've had the opportunity to do much of that here in the condo, as well as formerly in the house. But we haven't had to, since we've moved into Toronto, it's funny enough, we've only been here about 2 months, but we haven't had any in-person. Oh no, we've had one in person.
One in person, yeah. Well, listen, it's great talking to you. We're going to take a quick break, and I can't wait to look at some numbers on how you were able to make money on one of your investment properties. Thanks for joining us. You're watching Everyday Investor. We're talking to Andrea, and we're learning how we can make money investing in pre-construction condos. We'll get out the paper and pen. You should too. Everyday Investor continues in a moment. Hey, it's Rav. Welcome back to Everyday Investor. We're talking to Andrea, and she is teaching us how we can make money investing in pre-construction condos. Andrea, thank you so much for joining me.
Yes, I'm very excited. And now to the real stuff, money, talking numbers.
Talking numbers, and talk to me about your mindset about it. I mean, do you get excited? Is it slow and boring? Why pre-construction condos as opposed to resale, or do you do a bit of both? Talk a little bit about what your kind of portfolio looks like and kind of your philosophy around it.
Yeah, so no, I don't just do pre-construction condo, but I do like it for the improved value that I can get at the outset, especially when, like this one, for example, I bought it in 2017 and just closed it here in 2020. So, but I'm definitely a buy and hold type of person. I mostly buy and hold on to properties for the long term. Yeah. And mostly over the years, I would say over the 15 years, Rob, I've mostly held like homes and multi-units. So in the last few years, I've been looking at even multi-units, like 6 units plus. And so I've got some of that now in London, and I'm also out in Edmonton. So I've done some duplexes and stuff like that out in Edmonton. But I mostly started here in the Toronto, like the Brampton area, very close to home, very familiar, and with duplexes. That was very comfortable.
And do you do this? Is this all your own money, or do you bring on joint venture partners, or do you bring on people that lend you money in a debt deal? Like, how do you grow it?
So that's a good question. So in the beginning, I definitely was using my husband and I. We were using our money to start. In the past few years, we've been now doing some joint ventures. So even some of the pre-construction condos that I have to future build, those were done jointly. But because eventually you run out of money. Yeah. And it's really nice to partner as well, so that we have individuals who have different mindset, different strategies and knowledge, maybe skill set as well. They're even maybe handier than I am. So we started out on our own, but today I would say that at least 2 or so of my portfolio holdings has partnerships. And upcoming, I have 3 upcoming that are jointly held.
That's great. So you have money partners, you're the expert partner, and then do you, generally speaking, split profits 50-50?
Generally, yes.
Generally. I mean, every deal is different, but that's exactly. Joint venture just...
Well, it's what we put in is what we earn.
Perfect. Okay, so take me through a deal.
Yes, so this condo was purchased in, as I said, 2017 for $660,000.
Okay, so that's when you bought it, but you didn't close till here, and the price was $660?
$660.
Okay. And then you didn't pay $660. I know your 8-year-old's making some money, but she didn't give you the money for that. So what was your
chance? No.
What was your Down payment.
So the down payment, 20% of that was 132,000.
So 132K. Yeah. And then obviously there's nothing there. So there's nothing to do. There's no renovations. There's none of that. You don't even need to get a mortgage yet. You just came up with the 132,000. It was a 3-year time frame. So I'm sure it's not 660,000 now. It's probably a few dollars more than that, because real estate goes up and down upwards, especially in the 416. So, what other costs? Was there any other costs here?
Yeah. So outside of the 132 at closing, I had my closing costs, which, well, they were shocking. I did have 39,000 because I also had to pay the land transfer tax in Toronto here, and double land transfer. Yeah. So total of 39,000 was what I paid for the closing costs.
Okay, 39?
Yes.
Okay. And I think that's it for your investment amount, yeah?
Yes, yes. I didn't add anything else to it.
So what's this, 171?
Yes, 171,000.
That is what you are in for, 171. Now, I'm sure it wasn't 171 cash. You use, maybe this was a JV, or maybe you borrow from your house, maybe you borrow from another property, you borrow from a credit line, but that part we don't have to factor in. Let's just say it is 171. How do we make money now on this?
So like you pointed out, I'm in the 416 area code. So some of the money is definitely realized in the appreciation, the value of the property today.
Yeah.
And COVID has changed things a little bit, right? So the value of the property is probably not the same as it would have been even 6 to 9 months ago. So I would say that the property is probably worth around 693 maybe now, if we're going with and being conservative with the current times.
Okay, so you're saying 660, a few minutes later, about 690, 700.
Yeah, so around 700.
Okay, so do you want me to add that? Do you want me to just say appreciation is 30 grand? Is that what you're saying? What do you use?
I actually use 693 as the number, just because, as I said, prior to looking at the numbers earlier this year, when I was looking at it, definitely the properties were well up in the 700-800s. But I think right now, if we're looking at current day, I would say that it's a little lower. Yeah. So 693 is what I used. Yeah,
I appreciate. I mean, this is the type of show where I want to be able to nurture your 27-year-old. I want to be able to nurture high school senior students, and we should always be conservative. Always, always, always. We're not trying to impress anybody. Slow and steady and boring is quite impressive, as opposed to flash, right? So, so appreciation 33,000.
Yes.
Okay, and then what else?
So in terms of this, like if I had my goal was to rent this out, right? So if I'd rented this out, I would have mortgage pay down, but either way, I'm having mortgage pay down on this, holding it or renting it out. So I also included the mortgage pay down, right? So mortgage pay down is, I believe, 17,000.
17,000. And you could rent this out. So did you use that just, hey, if I were to rent it out, this is what I could get, or you didn't do that?
No, I did. I used that. If I could rent it out, I know that I should be able to get rent of $29.50.
Okay, so after all your expenses, are we upside down, or are we making some?
I'm actually $22.
$22.
$22 after expenses, which is pretty awesome. The mortgage rates are fairly low right now, and even with the condo fees, insurance, I'm still keeping $22.
$250 a year. Yes, why not?
That's right.
Put it on black or red or green, depending on how hard you spin that wheel. So did we put that here, or did you put 0? What did you put for cash flow?
For cash flow, I put 22. So the total cash flow for the year is 254.
254. I love it. And then what? We're adding these numbers up?
Yeah. So if we added those up, so let's see, what's that?
That is, yeah, so it's 50,254. No? Yeah, so 50,000. So let me just go 50K
50K is easy.
and use your calculator and divide that into 170. So what's 50,000 divided into 170? 50,000 divided into 170,000. This is a ROI of 34%. On a condo. And then, yeah, I mean, here we are into COVID, and I appreciate, that you say, hey, let's just do this. Let's make it an adventure. It's not like, we're crying and saying, I wish I didn't have to move downtown. And hey, why not? You don't know how God works. And I think that's very, very cool. I saw a picture. I don't know how I saw a picture, but I saw a picture of the bunk beds with your girls there. How would I have seen that?
That was an article feature in Toronto Life.
That's what it was. Yes.
So they were pretty impressed that we would leave Brampton, unlike you, Rob. They were impressed that we would leave Brampton and come to Toronto, and they were excited.
I'm impressed. I'm just like, wow, like you.
No, I agree with you. I shouldn't have left Brampton. I love Brampton. 30 plus years there. I love it.
You can always come back. And no, I mean, people don't know. I mean, I live on a 60-acre spring-fed lake. But people don't know about Professor's Lake, right? They don't know about the city stocks it with fish. We've got Chinguacousy Park, where every Canada Day we have 100,000 people that are there. You have the new one over there on Gore and Castlemore. That's even bigger than that. Huge. And then of course, I love my Indian food, both East and West. What's your background?
I'm Jamaican, so of Caribbean background.
I love my jerks, Jem's jerk. I love all my Jamaican food and stuff. So, anyways, this is very cool. What's next for you? What are you trying to? You're continuing to buy doors? Are you selling some and buying other ones? Because it sounds like you've got into the multi-space, the multi-family space now, and I'm sure it makes sense to have 10 units under one roof and one furnace. Perhaps maybe even 2, then 10 separate ones. So is that the direction, or what do you?
That is the direction, Rob. You hit it right on the nail. My goal going forward is to eventually move into mostly the multi-units, and I agree, having one furnace service 6, 10, 20 units, maybe 2 furnaces servicing the 20 units. That's the goal, is to now move into and buy more multi-units, and not necessarily in the Toronto area because of pricing, but definitely looking at other areas in Ontario and Canada as an opportunity to get into more multi-units.
Yeah.
Selling, my goal is not to sell, but definitely to refi and use some of the capital in some of the existing properties to do that.
Yeah. Or if, what I call dogs, if one, kind of turns into a dog, you can sell it because there's something better. So let's say you had, 10 townhouses and you really want to get into a 20-plex because it just makes more sense, right? Maybe you want to get into outdoor storage. Maybe you want to. So I always tell people, there's nothing wrong with selling as long as you're going to put that money to make more money. Because at the end of the day, just all about the numbers. But listen, time is up and I appreciate your time. Thank you so much, Andrea, for nurturing and inspiring me with what you've done and to make that move. Good luck with your children. We'll have to have you back. But thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you very much, Rob. I really enjoyed having an opportunity to speak to pre-construction condos here.
Nice. And thank you guys for watching or listening via podcast. Without you, we would not have a show. Make sure you tune in next week, same place, same time. Honey, I love you. I'll be home soon. Thanks for watching, everyone.